Those who listen to silence often hear the truth screaming. What if I told you that Sigma males operate with a radar that doesn't need to beep? It whispers. They aren't reacting. They're reading the undercurrent. In the middle of chaos, they don't flinch. Why? Because they already saw it coming. That's not superstition. That's introverted intuition. A sixth sense tuned so sharply it can detect invisible shifts in energy, emotion, and intention. Sigma males don't chase what's obvious. They track what's inevitable. In this video, Ascenders, we're diving into the real mechanics behind the Sigma male's intuitive dominance. These are not traits. These are technologies of the mind that operate in stealth mode. If you've ever had a gut feeling you couldn't explain, a moment where you just knew, or a time when silence felt louder than words, you're not broken. You're wired differently. Lock in. This isn't surface-level theory. This is what powers the unseen moves of the most unpredictable archetype out there. And if this hits your frequency, subscribe to Sigma Ascends and step into the arena of the awakened few. 1. Ghost signal. Awareness. Sigma males don't need to be told, they feel it. It starts with a subtle shift, a pause in a voice, a glance that lasts too long, a conversation that feels one layer too rehearsed. While most people take everything at face value, the Sigma detects the invisible current beneath it all. This is ghost signal awareness, the art of reading frequencies without needing them spelled out. He doesn't need receipts. He senses the static before the signal drops. You can lie to his face, but your vibe will always tell on you. He's not paranoid. He's perceptive. His awareness is fine-tuned to detect emotional barometers and ambient energy like a sniper tracks wind velocity. In public spaces, he's not looking around. He's scanning. Every conversation, every interaction, every micro-expression gets quietly logged in the back of his mind, and he doesn't even try. It's automatic. When someone walks in the room, he doesn't just see them. He feels their intention arrive 10 seconds earlier. That's why Sigma males often walk away before the drama even begins. He doesn't need confirmation. When his sixth sense pings, he listens. Others might call it overthinking. He calls it staying alive. 2. The silent download. The Sigma mind works differently. While most people listen to respond, Sigmas listen to absorb. They aren't focused on reacting, they're tuned into extracting. This is the silent download, the unconscious data-gathering mode that makes the Sigma dangerous without lifting a finger. He might seem distracted, distant, but beneath the silence, there's a high-speed transfer of data happening. Energy, intent, body language, environmental shifts. He's not mentally zoning out. He's downloading a full spectrum of insight without saying a word. What makes it powerful? He doesn't even need to understand it at the moment. His subconscious is filing the data, connecting it to past experiences, mapping future possibilities. Then, boom, a decision is made, seemingly out of nowhere. But it came from that massive file that's been building silently for days. People underestimate him because they don't see him processing out loud. But the Sigma never plays his cards face up. He learns while others perform. He absorbs while others explain. He evolves without broadcasting it. And when the time comes to speak or act, he does so with precision. Not because he figured it out just now, but because the download was complete. 3. The shadow mirror. A Sigma male sees through people not with judgment, but with pattern recognition. This is the shadow mirror, the ability to reflect back what others try to hide. Whether it's insecurity, manipulation, fear, or ego, he catches it fast. And he doesn't need proof. He just knows. It's not magic. It's how his intuition interfaces with human behavior. He sees masks like glass. He watches how people use language to cloak weakness. He catches contradictions, tracks emotional undercurrents, and senses desperation behind the charm. And the more someone tries to impress him, the more he senses what they're compensating for. That's why people often feel exposed around Sigmas. Not because he calls them out, but because they know they can't fake it around him. He's not buying the surface. He's already looking for the crack. And here's the twist. He doesn't use this awareness to manipulate. He uses it to distance. Once he sees the truth behind the curtain, he steps back. He protects his time, his space, his peace. The shadow mirror isn't a tool for dominance. It's a weaponized filter, cutting through performance to preserve clarity. 4. Future echoes. Some call it foresight. Others call it prophecy. But for the Sigma, it's just pattern awareness turned into predictive power. Future echoes is the Sigma's quiet ability to simulate outcomes long before they happen. Not by guessing, but by running mental timelines that most people can't see. He's not psychic, he's strategic. Every situation contains variables. Most ignore them. The Sigma doesn't. He runs the numbers, calculates risk, maps likely behaviors, and then chooses based on the trajectory, not the temptation. You'll see it in how he chooses relationships, jobs, paths. Others chase excitement. He chases alignment. His choices seem strange in the moment, but months later, they make perfect sense. This is why people come back to him and say, "How did you know?" He didn't know. He understood. He connected the unspoken threads of logic, emotion, energy, and instinct, and followed the one that felt inevitable. To others, it looks like cold calculation, but to the Sigma, it's survival math. He doesn't move impulsively. He moves like a time traveler picking the cleanest timeline. 5. Quiet alarms. Sigma males don't need a crisis to realize something's wrong. They feel the shift before the storm. This internal system is what I call quiet alarms, a gut-based warning signal that doesn't shout. It whispers, and when it does, they listen. To outsiders, it might look like overreaction. Why leave that relationship? Why back out of that deal? Why switch plans last minute? The answer is always the same. Something felt off. They may not always be able to explain it in words, but their body, their instinct, knows. It's not paranoia, it's perception without proof. The Sigma doesn't wait to be betrayed to realize he's surrounded by snakes. He hears the rustling in the grass, and more importantly, he moves before the bite. These quiet alarms have saved him more times than he can count. Emotionally, financially, socially, they guide him away from traps others would walk straight into, blinded by appearances and pressure. He's learned not to second-guess it. The times he ignored that internal alarm, he paid for it. So now, even if the evidence isn't there yet, if his gut pulls the brake, he halts. That's how a Sigma survives in a world addicted to ignoring the signs. 6. The information black hole. In every room, there's a hidden listener, the Sigma male, but he's not eavesdropping for drama. He's absorbing raw data, and he does it in silence. This is the information black hole, a state where people spill everything around him, and he just listens and remembers. When Sigma males are quiet, people assume they're disengaged. In reality, they're fully locked in, listening not just to what's said, but how it's said, noticing tone, timing, slips, shifts in eye movement. Every interaction becomes a download, and they say almost nothing in return. People feel safe dumping information on him because he doesn't interrupt, judge, or react. But what they don't realize is that the Sigma is creating an internal profile. Motives, weaknesses, lies, truths. It's not malicious, it's instinctual, like a detective building a case from fragments. That's why Sigma males can recall small details weeks later. It's not photographic memory, it's focused retention. They didn't just hear you, they archived you. And here's the twist. You'll rarely know what the Sigma thinks of what you said. He doesn't reveal his cards, but when he moves based on what you told him, you'll realize he was always 10 steps ahead. 7. The chaos filter. Where others panic, the Sigma male remains still. Why? Because he saw it coming, and more than that, he built a mental filter to process chaos. This is the chaos filter, an internal system that allows the Sigma to interpret panic as information, not pressure. When the world goes loud, the Sigma goes inward. He isolates variables, slows down perception, analyzes calmly. He isn't emotionless. He just doesn't let emotions cloud decisions. While others get swept into the frenzy, the Sigma stays above it, observing the storm instead of getting soaked. This isn't apathy, it's control. Sigmas don't ignore chaos, they study it. What caused it? Who's feeding it? What's the exit strategy? Every piece of madness becomes a data point. In an emergency, the Sigma is the guy who looks like he doesn't care, when in reality he's probably the only one actually thinking clearly. That detached demeanor, it's how he regulates his decision-making. Feelings are valid, but facts are vital. This ability makes Sigma males invaluable in high-stakes scenarios. They see through hysteria, they find logic in heat, and they never confuse noise with truth. 8. The echo chamber. Escape. The Sigma doesn't follow trends. He questions them. He doesn't join movements. He dissects them. That's because he was born with the instinct to reject the echo chamber. While most people crave validation from the crowd, the Sigma craves clarity from within. This is the echo chamber escape, the ability to mentally unplug from collective programming and think independently. It's not rebellion, it's resistance to mental pollution. When everyone around him says, "This is the way," his instinct says, "Let me test that." He doesn't assume the crowd is wrong, he just refuses to believe they're automatically right. This gives him a powerful edge. While others are locked into groupthink, he operates as a sovereign system, analyzing, comparing, projecting. This is why Sigma males often succeed in unconventional paths. They aren't blinded by what's normal. They're driven by what feels true. It also explains their solitude. Not everyone can handle someone who challenges the script. But that solitude, it's where their genius matures. It's where their intuition sharpens. It's how they build mental frameworks that are bulletproof, because they were forged in silence, not applause. 9. Hidden compass. Navigation. Sigma males don't need a detailed roadmap to know where to go. Their internal compass is more powerful than external advice, trends, or even logic sometimes. This is what I call hidden compass navigation. The instinct to trust an inner pull, even when it defies what makes sense on paper. Here's how it works. A Sigma may walk away from a perfect job offer. He may cut ties with a seemingly supportive person, or suddenly shift course in life when everything looks stable. People call it irrational, but the Sigma knows something's not aligned. He can't always explain it. He doesn't need to. His decisions aren't made through debate. They're made through energetic calibration. If something feels off, he won't stick around to gather evidence. He'll move. Fast. What sets this apart from impulse is that it's not driven by fear or thrill-seeking. It's rooted in deep, intuitive knowing. The Sigma knows that true misalignment is invisible at first. By the time everyone sees the crack, he's already halfway across the map. And the irony? Months later, the truth always confirms the move. That bad feeling turns out to be right. The missed opportunity becomes a bullet dodged, and those who questioned him, they start asking how he knew. He didn't guess. He navigated. 10. Vibe sensory mastery. Walk into a room with a Sigma male, and within seconds he knows who's fake, who's real, who's anxious, and who's hiding something. This isn't Sherlock Holmes stuff. It's vibe sensory mastery, a fine-tuned ability to interpret the emotional and energetic fingerprint of a space without a word being spoken. This goes beyond reading body language. The Sigma feels tension in the air. He notices who avoids eye contact, who's overcompensating, who lights up when someone enters. It's not mind reading, it's presence reading. He doesn't need to be part of the conversation. In fact, he prefers to stay out of it, so his radar isn't disrupted by small talk. This gift helps him not just survive social dynamics, but control his position within them. This is why he avoids crowds, why networking events feel like a psychic war zone. The constant emotional data streaming in can be overwhelming. But when he's focused, this skill becomes a superpower. The Sigma uses this mastery to decide who gets access, who's safe, who needs distance. And unlike extroverts who thrive on attention, the Sigma thrives on observation, because it gives him advantage without exposure. 11th, vision from the void. Some ideas don't come from research. They come from nowhere, or so it seems. But for the Sigma male, they come from the void, that sacred space of silence where no one is watching and no one is influencing. This is vision from the void. While others brainstorm in groups or scroll for inspiration, the Sigma goes dark. He vanishes. He gets quiet. And that's when it happens. Insights drop into his mind like encrypted downloads. These aren't recycled thoughts. They're original. They often don't even make sense at first, but they feel right. He doesn't force them. He follows them. Over time, they evolve into solutions, strategies, or systems that others admire but never understand. This is why solitude is non-negotiable for the Sigma. It's not just rest. It's where the antenna clears, where the static fades, where ideas rise like signals from deep space. You can't summon it on command. You have to surrender to it. And that's exactly what makes the Sigma's creations different. They come from a place most people are too scared to visit. The void is his lab, his church, his control center. And when he emerges with a vision, it's usually light years ahead. Now you know. The Sigma male's sixth sense isn't about magic. It's about precision. It's a code written in silence, practiced in solitude, and executed in real time. Most people react. Sigmas read. Most get blindsided. Sigmas prepare. Most listen to noise. Sigmas follow the signal, the one that no one else can hear. If you've ever felt misunderstood for trusting your gut, for stepping away from the crowd, or for acting on a feeling no one else shared, welcome home. You're not lost. You're just tuned into a different frequency. Ascenders, if this video amplified your mindset, subscribe to Sigma Ascends and sharpen the tools that make you untouchable. Until next time, stay quiet, stay sharp, and always trust the signal. Signal out.